Okay. So look, please, it's been a stressful week, The Panthers lose, and then they lose again. All of a sudden, they can't win a game. And now we got to play the Rangers, there's gonna be too much blue. Speaking of blue, hey, look, if you don't use the Manscaped lawnmower the proper way, you're going to cut yourself. And if you cut yourself, nobody's gonna want to touch your pakeki. And if nobody touch your pakeki, your cajones are gonna get blue. Just like the Rangers are going to get nut kicked like a blue cajone from their pakeki. You know what I'm saying, right? Kick them in the nuts.
You ready? Here we go. They did it. I don't believe it.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Alright, Panthers fans. So, 5 o'clock on a Saturday. Y'all know how I feel about 5 o'clock Saturday games. Normally, I would say I should just be fishing, but it's 45 degrees and it's been raining for 2 days straight. So, that's a different story. No Sam Bennett again. Bob's in net. Luosterainen, my buddy, my brother Lou. I'm going to start calling him Brother Lou. How about 2 from Brother Lou? All right? I mean, we need Bennett back. But what we need today, in this moment, is somebody to pick up the slack until we get Bennett back. So how about 2 from Brother Lou? That's terrible, but it rhymes. So there's the Islanders play today. No, excuse me. Do they play today? You know what? I think they actually do play today. But they played yesterday and lost in overtime to the Jackets, of all teams. Anybody can beat anybody this time of the year. Not seeing a whole lot of positive energy from the Panthers fan base in terms of this game here. We don't do great on Saturdays. It's the Rangers. You know, the crowd's going to be at least a third, if not more, Ranger fans. Going to be a lot of blue. And no Sam Bennett. Did I mention there's still no Sam Bennett? I think I did. All right. I have no basis upon which to stand this upcoming prediction, but 5-3 Panthers. I don't believe it either. So, it's 2-0 Panthers after 1. Now, on one hand, I'm very happy. I'm very happy that it's 2-0 after 1. On the other hand, it's 2-0 after 1. So, the Rangers don't suck, right? This isn't 2-0 after 1 against the Jackets or the Hawks or Montreal. It's 2-0 after 1 against the Rangers, who played a really bad first period for the most part. Now, I didn't realize we caught Halak tonight instead of Shesterkin. Not that Halak is bad, but he's not Shesterkin. I'm stuck because if I'm too positive, you guys know what happens. But we should be positive because if I'm not positive and bad things happen, I'm going to get blamed for not being positive. So I'm going to be neutral. I'll be like Switzerland. Do it again. Yeah. That's what I'm going to go with. Do that again. Give me another 2-0 period, and then we can talk, Panthers. So, remember, well, for me it was about 45 minutes ago. For you, it was just about 5 seconds ago. Remember 5 seconds ago when I was afraid to be excited that we were up 2-0? That was why. Why do we suck in the second period now? Like suck. Like we're playing so bad that even Goldie is calling us out for lack of effort. That's bad. That's bad because he has an exclusive... he has a clause in his contract where he loses money if he's negative about the team. Pretty sure that's true. Maybe. May as well be. So it's 2-2. Now, everything else said, if you would have told me before the beginning of the game that we were going to go to the third period tied 2-2, I'd have taken it. I'd have taken it. They can't play much worse. The first goal, 4 mistakes on the same play. Let's see if I can remember. Mahura skated past the puck. This is all in our own zone, by the way. Mahura skated past the puck and missed it. Then Gudis couldn't block the pass even though he had it on his stick and he lost it. And then Cousins got boxed out in front. Mahura got back late and the puck was in the back of the net. 4 mistakes by 3 players in the space of about 5 seconds. Move on to third period. So, we pull Bob out of the net. We got an empty net going. Clock's winding down, winding down, winding down. We got time for one more rush. Puck's dumped in. We got a crowd of people in front of the net. Just 10 seconds left. Montour gets the puck at the line. Ain't nobody near him. Ain't nobody near him. He passes it over. Clock's still winding down. 7 seconds left. 6 seconds left. To Verhaeghe. 4 seconds left. 4 seconds left. Verhaeghe intentionally shoots wide of the net to put the puck behind the net. And the clock runs down and we lose. Now, it's not quite of a brain fart on the level of 3.8 seconds left. But it is indicative and illustrative of this Panther team. Another thing that is very similar to last year is last year we win the President's Trophy and we celebrated like we won the cup when we won the round. We finally won the playoff round. Then we proceeded to lose 4 straight, including the brain fart at 3.8 seconds, lose 4 straight to Tampa. We just never showed up again. And this year, we scratched and clawed and fought our way back all the way to where we actually controlled the 7 seed. And we ain't won a game since. And every second period since has been absolute ass-baggery. And we have made defensive mental mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake in unbelievable fashion. An absolute cratering under the pressure. Again. And while the usual suspects, Ekblad, Gudis, are easy to pick on, the last goal, the game-winning goal, was an Ekblad got beat, whiffed, however you want to call it, brain fart. It ain't just them. All of a sudden, Mark Stahl has turned into Keith Yandel. He might have run out of gas here in the end of the season. Eric Stahl is still out there giving effort, but he don't quite have the legs he did a month ago, and it shows. Lundell is just... he's falling off the cliff. Now, in his defense, young players will kind of teeter-totter. I'm not ready to throw Lundell completely under the bus. Remember, Trocheck was moved all over the lineup, winger, center, moved around. We knew we had something in him, but it took a while until he had the proper line mates and he settled in at center. So I still believe in Lundell, but as of right now, in terms of this moment, this season, defensively he's a help, but offensively he's a liability because he needs to put on some weight and learn how to keep the puck on his stick. We don't have Bennett again. I remain convinced that he's got something that needs surgery or, a month off, 2 months off. He's clearly got something going on recurring. And they're trying to balance it with the need when he's coming back versus how many games does whatever it is, if it's his knee, how many games does his knee have into him until it flares back up? You see what I'm saying? I'm guessing, but I have a feeling it's close to something like that. Hip, knee. I'm trying to figure out how many games can he play, and we'll put him in at the end of the season. Islanders lost again. And if the Penguins lose again, we still haven't lost any ground. Don't tell Buffalo they can't make it. Buffalo's 3 points behind us, and they have a game in hand. Don't tell Buffalo they can't make it. And we play the Sabres. We got 4 games in the next 6 days, starting Monday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. No, excuse me. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. So it's 4 games in 6 days. All on the road. I believe the last one is against the Jackets, so I suppose you could throw Alex Lyon out there. That's another part of the problem. We went into this season with 1A and 1B with Bob and Knight. And when Bob was playing like ass earlier in the season, Spencer Knight had a nice run of games that kept us in it until he got injured / sick / we don't know. And we don't really have a backup goaltender, let's be honest. Not one that you're going to count on to win games in a playoff race. Now, one guy I will give props to is Alexander Barkov. Was out there. He got 2 goals tonight. He was back and forth, gutting it out as much as he could. I don't know if he can play 9 more games as well as he's played today in terms of ice time and energy and effort level. Barkov is showing up. Kachuk just quite doesn't look the same without Bennett. That's okay. Verhaeghe had some nice opportunities, high, wide. Reinhart is great deflecting pucks in front of the net. But when he has a shot from the slot, misses. Wide. Mahura, young defenseman, he'll be fine. I do believe Mahura can become close to Forsling. I do believe he can be a solid second pair defenseman. But the last couple weeks, it's not been great. The pressure, he's overskating pucks. He's pinching a little bit too much. So the combination of Mahura not playing as good as he was, Gudas declining, Mark Stahl declining, Aaron Ekblad being as inconsistent as McDonald's coffee, and you got Montour and Forsling out there basically trying to do it all. You can't do it all, so they're making occasional mistakes. They're making some really nice plays, okay? But, when you're tasked with that much responsibility, things will happen. I don't know what we do about Aaron Ekblad. This is not talking the stream. I know I've said trade him. I don't know what we do. He has a no-move clause. So first, Zito has to say, I want to trade him. Then Ekblad has to say, sure, trade me out of Florida. Now, if you think that Aaron Ekblad is going to waive his no-move clause after seeing what Huberdeau and Uyghur just went through from leaving, I don't think that's going to happen. Then, unfortunately, we're stuck with him. And $7.5 million is a lot of money for a guy who really should be in your middle pair. And I don't know if he just needs to be paired with a stay-at-home defenseman or if he needs to be the stay-at-home defenseman. But whatever his role is right now needs to be reworked because it's not working. We are going to have to fix that one way or another. Now, we are not privy to whether or not he's still injured or has regressed. We don't know. For all we know, as soon as the season over, he'll have some kind of surgery that needed to be worked on all year. And we'll say, okay, well, we'll give you another shot. Meanwhile, Anthony Duclair looked like he was progressing nicely the first 3 or 4 games. Tonight, he wasn't just bad. He was useless. He was a liability. And coaches got him out there with the net empty. And he don't even look remotely close to right. Now, I know he had a horrible injury, so I'm not being critical, but put somebody else out on the ice. I mean, right now, in terms of on the ice, I'd rather have Denisenko than Duke because the goal production is the same. But Denisenko can skate around and play hard and is playing defense and has a nice, well-rounded game for a kid his age. Duke, I caught him standing still no less than 3-4 times tonight. When the puck was passing by him, I saw one. He's in the slot, and he's in between. The Ranger player is passing from there, and he's passing to a Ranger player over here. And Duke is in the middle, and I literally watched him standing still, just watch the pass go past him, waiting for the Ranger player to get the puck. I saw that. I saw that in that terrible second period. So either he shouldn't be on the ice because he's not physically ready, or I don't know. I don't know. But again, you start adding up, it's a lot of problems now. It's a lot of problems that most of us agree on. Gudis has become a problem. Mark Stahl's become a problem. Aaron Ekblad, at least every other game, has become a problem. Duke is definitely a problem. Lundell will get it worked out, but right now, the way he's playing, it's a problem. Luosterainen is out there at 2C. I love that kid, and he looked really good on the first line at wing. But he's not Sam Bennett. He's not close to Sam Bennett. He might get there. He's not the same type of player. But the center depth, after Barkov is Luosterainen, Stahl, and then they had Lundell on the fourth line, kind of, because he's not playing well. So how many problems can you have and win hockey games? Well, we're getting the answer to that question. Thank God Bob is playing as well as he did, or it'd have been another 6 or 7 goals tonight. I mean, he made some saves that there were 2 or 3 times I thought for sure goal number 5 was going in. He's stopping the puck as much as he can. So there's 9 games left. The only reason we're still in it is because nobody else is tearing it up. And before this 3-game slide, the way that they were playing to get into this position, I thought, yeah, bring on the Devils, bring on the Canes, bring on the Bruins, kinda. It was more like bring on the Devils. But they looked ready to at least play a competitive playoff series. You put this defense out there, like if we only get the 8th seed, and you put this defense out there against the Bruins, This defense, the way it's playing, with Duke out there getting top 6 minutes, who can't skate his way out of a paper bag right now, I mean, I don't even know if that's what I want at this point. Duke looked good for the first couple of games. He had energy. He gave the team energy. Something's not right. He shouldn't be regressing, but he is. And I know it was a tough injury, but he shouldn't look worse after 2 weeks than he did when he came back. That shouldn't happen. And he's been progressively getting worse. And other people have said something. I said, give him time, give him time. But the more time that goes on, the worse he looks. And when he's taking off from a standing position, he's slow. He doesn't have the burst. He can't push off right. He ain't ready, really. He shouldn't be out there, honestly. He looked like he was ready, but from what I've seen, unless he's still sick and gutting it out because Bennett is hurt, which is a possibility, but if he's in this rough a shape, playing himself into shape, sit back down, put him back on LTIR, and bring up the end of Sanko so at least we got a guy that can move. Because Duke looks bad out there. And it's going to wear on his confidence. He has looked worse and worse and worse. Meanwhile, looking ahead to next year, Montour, Forsling, Mahura. Gudis is as good as gone. Stahl is as good as gone. I don't know. I'll leave Aaron Ekblad on the shelf over here. If after the season we find out, yeah, he's needed knee surgery all year and he gutted it out, okay, fix the knee, come back. But if we hear he's been healthy and playing like this, I don't know what to do there. But at least, you're at least going to replace Stahl and Gudis. You're at least going to get 2 new guys. Don't know what that's going to be. I mean, we've got Kierstead, we've got Carlson. Could they make a good bottom pair? Maybe, but how do you replace Gudis' size? I mean, we need somebody with some size out there, or toughness, I should say. Bottom 6 is just, I don't know what to do there. Lundell, Reinhardt, and you better get a freaking good player to play next to that kid. And then as far as the 4th line is concerned, you got Lomberg and Cousins. And Cousins really should be your guy off the bench. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, at a minimum, we should have a half dozen new players in the starting lineup for next season. That's a third of the team, right? That's a third, right? 12, 6, 18, yeah, that's a third. That's what we need. And I know people are upset about, fire Maurice. I've been there at times. I want to focus on what could possibly happen. And I said this before, Maurice ain't going anywhere. The next person to get fired if this doesn't work is Bill Zito. And then that person will come in and bring in a new coaching staff. But the next person to go is Bill Zito. He's the one holding all the dice. He's got the whole Yahtzee game. He's got the cups. He's got the scorecards. This is his show now. This is his show. And if it fails and it bombs, he's the one going. And I like him. I don't want that to happen. And by bombing, I mean if we miss this year and next year. If he goes out and spends money and we get our 6 new guys and we still can't get into the playoffs and we're still scraping the bottom of the barrel, maybe sniffing the 8th seed and then losing in the first round, it will be Zito's job that we hear about being in jeopardy. because he's married himself to Maurice. And honestly, I don't have a problem with that. Zito was handed a good enough core to make this work. And he's made some good moves. But we're going to have a changing of the guard here sometime here, okay? You know, Bob is playing nice now, but he's 34. Next year, he's going to be 35. The year after that, he's 36, and we have 5 guys under contract for that year. Next year is going to be a big do-or-die year for a lot of players, the coach, the GM. Next year is going to be it for this core. In terms of, if they don't make it work, you're not going to have a choice but to send some pieces elsewhere and rebuild, because you're not going to be able to pay everybody. All right. So, and that wasn't even against Shesterkin. We pulled their backup goaltender and blew a 2-goal lead. And another one goes, and another one goes. Meanwhile, Ethan and I are still busy working on what would be the Game 1 playoff intro. And should we not make the playoffs, I'll still put it out as its own video with the disclaimer. But it's involved and intricate. It's a lot of work, so I can't wait to find out if we're going to make the playoffs to work on it. So, doing it. And then if we miss the playoffs, I guess it is what it is. All right. They gave us some hope there for a while, and it's not over, but if Pittsburgh wins tonight, you don't want to call it over. You don't want to call it over. But there's 9 left. Pittsburgh wins tonight. 7-2 is going to be the minimum. 7-2 is going to be the minimum if Pittsburgh wins tonight. Pittsburgh loses. All right. 9 games left. All we have to do is be 1 point better. That's all we have to do. Is be 1 point better than Pittsburgh if they lose tonight. That doesn't solve our other issues. But we still want to make the playoffs. I mean, you want to make it. Stu and I will be back in the morning. And hopefully the sun will come up. It's been raining for 2 days straight. And I can get outside, get some fresh air. Well, like I said last time, if and when this team is eliminated from playoff contention, I'll be disappointed. I'll be sad. But there'll be relief. There'll be relief. This has just been brutal this year. Unbelievably brutal. The range of emotions. So, appreciate all the support. I'll see you again in the morning.